Today's video is brought to you by Oxedo LED lighting. You might think that you can see just fine at night. Well, I did too, until I did this little upgrade. As you can see from this footage, here is some before Oxedo LED lighting, and here is some after Oxedo LED lighting. The difference is amazing. With high brightness and easy installation, Oxedo LED lighting is definitely the route for you. They're easy to install, and they're available for all makes and models. Click on the link in the description below and enter promo code 612motorsports at checkout to get yourself 15% off. Now back to our video. Hello and welcome back to another episode of 612 Motorsports. In today's episode we're going to be tidying up a couple of things on the Xtreme. Pardon any wind noise that we're going to have. I can't help it, it's out of my control, but we'll do what we can to make things a little more tolerable for you. But before we get too far into today's episode, I'd like to encourage you all to go ahead and hit that subscription button, thumbs up, notification bell, leave a comment. Like I've said before, all of that stuff is super helpful and is very greatly appreciated. Now, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be removing these little nubs that were there to protect the hood from the bug deflector, which we took off. Now normally you would put those little nubs on the back of the reflector itself, and then this edge would hit the hood from the wind and whatever. Now we hadn't done that previously because I didn't want to wreck the paint. I don't know how they had those attached, but I've had it outside now for a while and the sun has actually loosened up everything you can see here. So we're going to take that off, see what's underneath there, and if anything we'll grab our old friend the Acrosol and clean that up a little bit. Well, that was a heck of a lot easier than I thought. So they just used a double stick tape. Thank goodness it wasn't anything more. Now, believe it or not, I'm going to save these, and I'll show you why here in a moment. Okay, well you can definitely see where it was. Get my shadow out of the way. I don't know how well that's going to show up, but there's a nice little square there. Now I'll probably end up taking some compound and hand buffing that out. As you can, I don't know how well this is going to show up, like I said, but there's a lot of water spots and oxidation and stuff that actually stayed on from having that deflector there, kept it wet and moisture built up. So buffing out the lip of this is not going to be the end of the world. Alright, so what I'm going to be using is a Wizard's Finish Cut. It's a really good product. They're actually made right here in Minnesota. That's why I like using them. But not only that, they do make a really good product. So we're going to go ahead and use a slightly damp applicator pad, and then we're going to use another towel with a little bit of a bite to help pull it off, and then we'll wipe it off with a microfiber when we're done and see how it looks. I did go ahead and wipe off that area. It was a little dusty, so I used a wet rag, kind of just wiped it off. And there are a lot of imperfections in the hood as far as little rock chips that have been touched up, a couple nice long scratches. And at some point, honestly, I'd like to put a nice 2-inch steel cowl hood on here and kind of give it that look. Finish up the meanness of the front end, you know. But for now, we're going to clean this up and get rid of some of those water spots. So. got rid of all of the water spots. Let the sun kind of show you. And I even went around on the tips of the fenders here because that bug shield kind of wrapped around a little bit, so I just wanted to make sure that area got some attention as well. That's going to take care of our little issues here in the front. Now we're going to move to the back. Alright, so we've moved to the back of the vehicle, and I just want to go over the couple little tiny things we want to take care of today. None of it's really important, but it's just those little things that make a big difference, and in the long run, that's what matters. So when we did the taillights, I noticed that there was no bulb for the side blinker. It's just a little tiny one, and they were missing on both sides. So we're going to go ahead and install new bulbs in there, and then while we're at it, we're going to put new bulbs top and bottom on both sides. And then that way, every bulb is new, we don't have to worry about it, and they should last us for a good long time. So let's go ahead and do that quick. I've got our bulbs here. Everything we need should be right there. And then we'll start with our second project. Alright, so both your backup light and your brake light are both going to take a 3057. And then our little side light here is going to take a 168. Now these are just a little bulb. They're basically the same ones that would be under your dash or in your glove box or center console or anything of that nature. So we're going to go ahead and get this one done. So basically we're just going to take one out like so. And so we're not wrecking anything. I'm going to stick my finger in there so I can still hold that. Line these up. And they only fit one way, as you can see, so we know we're in there good, and it did snap. So we'll go ahead and put this back in, give that a twist, and get this one out. And we'll line these up, snap. And we'll go ahead and drop this back in. We'll take out our little guy. We'll drop that bulb in. Make sure it's good and tight. Put that back in like so. And we're done. Start this bottom one here just so I know I'm not going to drop it. So our third and final little project for today is going to be fixing the rattle of this tailgate. Now, I have mentioned this in the past, but every S10 I've ever seen, tailgate rattles. Let me demonstrate. So you're driving down the road and that happens. Not cool. Plus, it should just fit snug, you know? Like, that's one of very few things that I am not very fond of in the S10 community. But we're going to take care of that. So while I was at the body shop the other day picking up the side skirts and stuff, I asked him if he had such a little contraption as basically the same thing we just took off of the hood. Something that I can put on up here possibly that would help push against the tailgate and keep it from bouncing back and forth. Because what's happening is this little bracket here, the pin, I don't know if that's showing up, but the actual latch is bouncing around in here. So if we apply some pressure going this way, it's going to push tight against this edge and not allow play there. I didn't know how these were going to come off, if I was going to be able to save them, if they were glued on, if they were taped on, or what. So he gave me these cone style, which in reality are probably going to work better because they're longer. And whatever size I need, I can always nip a little off of here versus adding something to that one. So I got a little double stick 3M and we're going to put on here and we're going to see how that works. So what we're going to have to do is see how much room we got in there. Okay, so after looking, it's going to push against this piece right here. And it looks like it's going to be right about here. So I'm just going to kind of wipe that clean to leave a little reference point. And we'll do the same here. Seam there so I can kind of tell where it is, but I figured while I'm in here now I might as well clean this, because once I get those bumpers put in it's going to be hard to get around them. And really I should be probably using a little compound and a small brush, but I think this is gonna take me to where I want to be anyways. And plus, if I put compound or something on it, the adhesive might not stick very well. So let's now see how much room we have in between there. To be honest, I think these are going to be the ones that are going to do the trick. So what I'm going to do is take this glue off of here as carefully as I can. So as you can, I don't know, well, you can see that, but it's definitely hitting there. So we're going to cut that back a bit. And we're probably going to cut it right about there. Alright, so I went and got myself a fresh razor blade just to make this a little bit easier. You know, work smarter, not harder. Isn't that what they say? All right. Shuts nice. I really didn't have to slam it. Look how tight that is. Now that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Perfect. See, it's just little stuff like that that actually makes a difference. We got no rattling. That's just the plastic here sliding back and forth, but the door itself, very solid. Very nice. All right, well, I got the stuff taken care of that I wanted to. That was on my list of things for today. And, honestly, it does just feel good to get those little things taken care of, because at some point, if you don't, those little things add up to pages and pages of things, and it's really very, very difficult to get caught up on some of that. So take care of them when they happen, and also it's a little preventative maintenance. I got stuff rattling around in the back here. Let's say, well, stuff's going to start to vibrate loose a little bit, and over time, who knows? Just something to kind of take care of, and plus I don't have to hear it now when I got the window down and I'm cruising. I don't hear a rattle every time I go over a manhole cover or a crack in the road. So sweet, I'm very glad about that. That's going to do it for today. Hope you all enjoyed. Please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below if you did, and as always, stay positive, work hard, and make it happen.